Let's talk about the process of purchasing real estate in Panama. Although being a modern country with an updated legislation, there are several topics and peculiarities within the process of purchasing property in Panama that will certainly make it stand apart from any other process of its kind in the region. Being the first of this, the fact that long before closing, there is a first agreement that is agreed by the parties where the terms and conditions of the whole process will be established. Now, why do we have this contract? Number one, the process has been self-regulated based on common practice, based on previous experiences, and it details what are the obligations from both parties during the process and what has to be complied with and when. In Panama, transfer taxes must be paid before closing. Normally, this payment comes out of a first installment or the payment that the buyer does at the beginning of the contract. Even when escrow agents are quite common in some other jurisdictions, they are not in Panama. You can find some, but there are several other methods of payments that are way less expensive and equally or more secured as well. Also, when the property object of this contract has a mortgage, payment of this mortgage has to be secured to the bank in order for this financial institution to provide some kind of approval for this transfer to happen. All in all, the whole process may take anything between 45 to 90 days. During this process, the contract will establish what has to be done and when. Let's talk about the parties. In this contract, we don't refer to the parties as seller and buyer because the transfer of the property is not taking place yet, just yet. At this moment, we refer to them as promissory seller and promissory buyer. Because on the one hand, one party will commit to transfer the property to the other, and on the other, the buyer, the promissory buyer, will commit to pay a price for it. At the moment of describing the parties, we must include all of their personally identifiable information. This includes not only the name and ID or passport, but also gender, profession, domicile, marital status, and others. And we also have to consider that if a company or any other type of a legal fictional person like a foundation is acting either as a seller or as a buyer, we should include its registry detail as well as all the general information or general data from its legal representative. Now, the object of the contract, the property. We should also describe it very well. In Panama, properties are identified with a number and its location code. This combination provides a unique number that won't be confused with any other property in Panama. We should also include what kind of property we're dealing with in this contract. Regular properties that includes lands, plots, and houses, or condominiums. Given that in Panama we have different type of registries offices for this. And finally, we should also include not only the geographical location, but some other information that may describe the property, such as lot number, condominium name, apartment number, and others. What about the financial part of it? The selling price must be agreed by the parties at the moment that this contract is signed, and as mentioned, is paid usually in installments. So once we have the full selling price defined, it is customary to make an initial down payment of 10%. Could be more or less, but usually 10% because as mentioned, transfer taxes are usually paid off out of this down payment. And the other 90% could be paid off through different methods of payments, either with the assistance of a bank, of a notary. However, certain properties will have a mortgage. When this is the case, the bank and the buyer's balance must be somehow detailed through these different methods of payments. In Panama, it is customary that the buyers or their attorneys take care of drafting the closing deed. But in order to do this, the seller must provide certain documents, and these are also detailed in the promise agreement. First of all, a bill of sale, where not only the party's full description and property as well, but the selling price and also an, a specific acceptance of the purchase has to be done by the buyer. This bill of sale has to be secure or signed by an attorney, a licensed attorney in Panama. Additionally, the seller must provide certain clearance or good standing certificates from the property taxes office, the water utility, and if applicable, from the homeowners association as well. In addition, the seller must provide to the buyer's or buyer's attorney receipts and forms confirming that the transfer taxes for this particular transaction has been paid. And finally, if any of the parties is a company or a foundation, a resolution approving this transaction and appointing someone to represent the company must be drafted and included as well. Well, guys, this is basically the brief explanation of what a promise to purchase and sell agreement includes. Feel free to contact us at any of the different detailed contact information you will find here. We'll leave the description and also links to any of our contact information in the description of this video. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We always advise our clients to contact a licensed attorney from day one once they're ready to invest in Panama. Once again, thank you for your time.